Hey guys, how's it going? This Jack here from Let's Drone Out. You got a really interesting camera angle because the overhead gets in the way. And I got my little friend here, Colin. Yes, we must kill Tony. And today we've got an incredibly interesting video for anyone who actually cares. Right, so originally the Alien, I've got an Alien 5" here, was designed for the HS117 camera. It's one of these. It's got a GoPro lens on it, and as you can see about there, its knobbly bits are quite small, and the knobbly bits, to be precise, hang on, let me just get my yeah, the knobbly bits are approximately just over 3mm, which fits into the small pivot hole in the Alien frame, no problem, because that is a whopping 4 and 4.5mm. Right, so here we've got the Runcam what is it, Swift 2, and its knobbly holes are a whopping 6mm. So they do not fit in this hole here. So what you got to do is modify, which you can't really see, but you got to cut the plastic around here away. So see that metal bit? Well, you can't really. Hang on. Let me just get a knife. Hang on. Sorry, should have been more prepared. Right, we got our Tony knife. In case he comes at me whilst on the workbench, always keep this handy. So if we scrape the orange stuff away, as you can see, there's focus. See the shiny bit? There's metal, and what they are, these are ultrasonically pushed in to the plastic, or probably more likely molded into it, and there they are. That's the inside, flat. There's a screw hole, and as you can see, they are fusioned in. So we've got to cut that plastic away. Fun doesn't stop there. So this is more of a tutorial on, I bought an original Alien and I want to upgrade my camera and it no longer fits. You got 3 scenarios. The easiest thing to do is get an old HS117 and take the case for it and just take the board out. Come on. Oh, man. Usually they come out a bit. No, damn it. There we go. Just scratched the sensor. Place it in, it fits, and then get the normal back and put it in like that. And that is the quickest way. And it also means that you still have to wait for it. ImpulseRC. Originally, these screws used to fit. So these screws are approximately, I measure the screw from the actual thread, so not the head. So let me just draw a picture on my desk, because that's what I'm like. I measure screws from, say that's the head of the screw, the socket goes in there, or whatever you're using, and then this is the thread. I measure from here to the end of the thread, and that's what I measure. But some Philistines on places like eBay and that measure the whole goddamn screw. So originally, in the old setup, when you'd have a normal HS117, you would have a screw that was, wait for it, just 6.5 mil, 6.5 mil. And the overall size is 5, 6, 7, 8 mil. So yeah, they're the original screws. Guess what? They're too short. So we take a bit of alcohol and we just rub that away. Get the old wank sock. Right, so screw you're going to need is, overall size, it is exactly 10 mil. So that's the correct size. So that's the whole head and thread. And the length of just the thread is 8 mil. So, because if you get a button head screw, obviously they're going to be a lot shorter, i.e. that's, you know, button head and that's socket head, or some people call them machine screws. Machine screw? You can machine any screw. Don't get me started on from what makes a bolt and a screw a screw. I actually, bonus content, I'll go through that in the end. Isn't that right, Colin? Yes, we will. Right, so that's what you want. 8 mil or 10 mil overall. Now, the good thing is it's going into plastic, so you can buy extra long. I've got them. I've got one here to demonstrate. M2 screws. So what you want to type into Google is 8mm M2 screws, and I can't. What have I done with the packet of screws? Sorry, I thought I had everything laid out here. Oh yes, I do. They're right here. So here's the M2s. You can buy an extra long one and get a pair of like bolt cutters or a good pair of like cutters, and you could just nip that down so you've got enough thread for the 8 mil. You can even have it slightly longer, I think, and then just file the rest off if you need to. But that's what you're looking for, 8 whole mil. And the reason why is with the back of the camera plate, it's too thick. So if we put this little 6 mil in, it just goes straight in, doesn't bite at all. Put the 8 mil in and you can actually screw it into it. Right, so if you have an original from the old school Alien camera plate, you've got a lot of filing to do. And also these screws here and here, where they line up with the back of the camera plate, like so, they're different. Now, to do these bits, I'd get a round needle file. You can buy them. You should have one in the kit with your Alien, but you can just gently file out towards the insides of the camera plate. On Rotor Riot store, if you look at the butter quad, they do have the template of what you're supposed to remove. Now, this is the newest camera plate, which I recommend buying because it means these holes are already done for you. But once again, in infinite glory, this still doesn't fit. And what's interfering is this little socket here. Easiest thing to do. So the simple solution, if you're a bit of an animal, would be cut the plastic off, get a pair of side cutters, and then trim those 2 pins off. Does mean that if you want to adjust, that socket is so that you can adjust the OSD. It's not really a, on-screen display. So just make sure that you plug it in, put your name in, put your battery voltage, and then get rid of it. and then you're totally done. And then you could just remove that and then place a make sure you get right in there and cut those pins away so that they don't bend or touch the carbon fibre plate and short, because then you'll have like the menu going off all the time. But that's the easiest, simplest, quickest way. Or you can be you know, like you can do it the proper way if you still, you know, which I recommend doing, because if you cut away the OSD and you want to like give your camera to your mate, or you know, you want to make some adjustments because, like, you know, you started off flying in summer and it comes to winter and it snows, you've got to adjust all the camera settings, you will need to file away more in this direction. So I am just unscrewing these bits and kind of give you a rough measurement. So in your alien kit you should have one of these flat needle files. You can get in there quite kind of on the edge with the file and file this way, but you can also go online and get a nice square one which fits in a lot nicer in the hole. And I've just got carbon fibre dust. Don't forget, do this underwater because it will give you cancer, delicious cancer. Right, so I have filed away. So the original measurement here is 11, 12, 13.5 mil. So from there to there, 13.5, and I filed it all the way down to 11. So as you can tell, that's quite a bit of, and you know, it does get really thin about here. This is 1.5 mil basically, so that's what you're kind of left with. But as you can see, it does fit nicely and it is doable. Right, so you've got the right screws, you sorted your backing plate out. This is what you're going to need. You're going to need your Tony knife. Don't use your nice cutters because these don't go wide enough. You can go on eBay and you can get these. I think they're called like Pluto or something, but these you can kind of like bend out and they're wide enough to cut round there. So they're called side cutters, flush cutters, electronic snips, whatever. Get a nice flat blade. You can use a scalpel, but you know, the scalpel blade tends to flex. This is like a little box cutter. I think this is 6mm blade, little flat box cutter, and then cut towards your chum, not your thumb, and then press it flat along here on the side of the camera, and then run the blade around the outside of the camera. So you can do this in a bit of a sawing motion. Just don't cut your fucking knob off. That's all I say. So once you've kind of scored it all the way round, get your cutters and then gently like nip around it. And you want to do it so that you don't crush the plastic on the inside. So I'm just gently cutting around it, and eventually it will kind of like crack away. So when it's kind of looking like that, like it's just about to go, get back in with the old blade. Don't press too hard because these little snap bits will ping off and hit you in the eye. So wear glasses, safety squints, and you will look like a bit of a twerp doing this, but oh well. Better to, you know, see in both fat shark lenses than just one. You pay enough money, yay. So as you can see, we've removed that nub of plastic, and all we're left with is that little bit of metal. So the good news is the metal is only roughly about 4mm, which fits perfectly in the little hole. So don't worry, there's more to come. So I'm not going to bother doing this side. So with your screws from your run cam, you'll get little screw kit. Pour it out, and you've got shorter screws and the longer screws. Grab the shorter screws, and as you can tell, slip it through the hole of the run cam, and then start threading it. And lo and behold, you little bastard. Oh, sorry, there's plenty more where that came from. As you can tell, this isn't ever going to be simple. Hang on. God dang it. So it's a 2mm Allen key, and let me just get the thread started. So you go to screw it down, and you feel it nip up. Don't over tighten them, because I've snapped some of these before, and as you can see, it is all loosey goosey. So way to get around that is, before you put it on, you may have noticed in the run cam there is little plastic washers. Slip one of them on first, the little spacer, put it on the end of your Allen key, and use that, and that will give you just enough to put your run cam on. There we go, and you can tighten it up, and your run cam will hold its shape, and that's it. So there you go. Repeat for the other side, obviously, and yeah, you've got a working run cam. And I also put a GoPro lens. So that's how you fit an old style run cam into your alien frame, because the nubs on the side of it make it too goddamn thick. There you go. That's it. What else was I gonna do? I can't remember. Oh yeah, what makes bonus content? What makes a screw a screw and a bolt a bolt? I did have. Here we go. So James May told me this. You know the big, long, hairy head guy on Top Gear. So the difference between a screw and a bolt is screw, the thread goes all the way down, and a bolt, the thread goes to a certain point and then stops. And there you go. I never knew that, but James May taught me something. And I bet Tony didn't know, because that's right, Colin. Tony's stupid. Good, Colin. Bye from me and Colin.